We'll be right there. We're going live. We got to change a few things, but grateful to be here. Grateful to be here. Give us just a few seconds and we'll be right here. We'll do another 5 minute countdown. Hey, we are here. We made it. We made it. It took a little second, but
Anybody who does this on a regular basis will understand.
oh yeah, all is well. And see, we can edit out the beginning. That's maybe took a little bit of time. You can come closer over this way, so you can get more in the screen, so they can recognize what you got going on. Peace, love, and prosperity. Peace, love, and prosperity to all who come in contact with this transmission, this podcast that we do. My young goddess empress and I'm appreciative for her wanting to, even spend, share space, hold space, and share it with me in it at any time. So I'm grateful for the opportunity for us to do this again, baby, all the time.
I'm grateful for you agreeing to be able to do so in the first place.
Well, this is what we do. This is our life. This is our quality of space. This is what we're, supposed to do. Everybody should be doing something like this with their seeds, with their star seeds, filling the blanks of different time. Even when they go off and have family and stuff like that, we should all still be congregating our vibrations to where we are all in alignment with each other in love, because that's what we got. That's all we got.
All right, so pay no mind to that background. We're getting that worked out.
Was it to me already?
No, I have to restart my computer.
Okay, so yeah, the background will be changed as we go, and you'll see us subtly doing what we're doing. But this is in real time, so we're just we're not tripping. All is well.
Yeah.
You got saved in Palo Santo burning.
That smells really good.
Oh yeah, well you know what we do. All is well. Got the crystals for love and protection. That would be. We got all types. All types. Argon with the crystals. And we got the copper and the, it's all charged. Just sharing as much love as possible. The emeralds, everything that we could bring to the table. Tiger's eye. Got these asteroids. All in the power of the source.
Mm-hmm.
All is well.
All in the power of the source.
Yeah. Love and appreciation. So your computer's starting back up now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I forgot my mouse, so I'm going to have to send for a mouse. A different mouse than this. So
it's all right. Well. Either way, we can go and still get started. Oh, yeah, so as you guys can see on the title, the subject today is lack of a strong emotional foundation can make you vulnerable. Which I know some people who have actually experienced that on a deeper level than others can relate to that in a sense. Because allowing yourself to become emotionally imbalanced in any way, shape, or form has never really had benefit at all. So I'm going to ask these questions. My first question is, how does someone build a life on unstable emotional ground? And at what point does everything they're carrying finally collapse under the weight of what was never reinforced?
Okay. Well, the only way someone to me can, build a unstable emotional ground is basically by not taking responsibility, for themselves, in general and as creation. Because once you get to a certain point of taking responsibility, then emotional ground becomes to be, you control that. It's like you realize that there's not no emotions involved, that you control the vibration of energy that flows that they define as emotions. And for that, and the other part of the question is, what point does everything they're carrying finally collapse? It's at every crossroad. They get an opportunity to collapse everything that takes place when it takes place in this, especially low vibrational. My theory is that based upon my own experience, and this is not a forced action because I share with my star seeds to let them figure it out for themselves. But my theory is that, we're definitely, responsible for our own situation, but everything that's outside of us is us, because we're projecting
And so when we're having these experiences and these opportunities to, change something, it's you changing you directly. And the biggest part of that is coming to terms with everything seems to be low vibrational is an opportunity to go high, to go high vibrational, because that's what it's been from my own experience since the way I would answer that. So, and this can never be, you can't reinforce any unstable emotional ground. You can enforce it, but you can't make it. To me, okay. So you can't enforce, a stability from an unstable emotion. You can't get stability from being emotionally unstable. So that's kind of like what it is, and it can never be enforced if you're not paying attention to the details, if you're not taking responsibility. And once you do, then you'll see that changes drastically.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
When you think about it, in a sense, it's like being in a building of some type that doesn't have a strong foundation. It doesn't matter how many times you try to build around it. The problem, regardless, is still at the foundation. That's still going to continue to be the main issue.
Have problems, right?
To have problems until you deal with the foundation itself. It starts from the foundation because that's what holds everything up in the first place. And it's the quality of that determines if it's going to be stable or not.
It's funny you picked that. I think you picked that based upon the work we were doing over there. And then having to change the whole thing, looking at the foundation. Okay, we don't need to do no work here. We need to tear this thing down and rebuild a foundation. And that's essentially what it is on everything. When it comes down to your personal being, you get the opportunity to do that. Just do it. You know what I'm saying? Just take responsibility for self and do it.
Because if you keep trying to build around it, you're going to spend a whole lot more effort than necessary to try to fix the surface when it's really much deeper than that.
Yeah, it goes deep.
But yeah, my second question is, when someone has never felt emotionally balanced, how does that lack of grounding quietly shape what they tolerate, settle for, or silently endure?
Never like never
ever.
It like I'm not sure how anyone could say, in a state of emotional imbalance. I don't see how that, because that's like it's as above, so below. Something's got to happen to where, the imbalance is not present consistently. So never, that's a strong so but those who lean towards that, the lack of grounding is what, shapes the reason they tolerate, or the reason they even are emotionally imbalanced in the first place, is because of no grounding and the things that they tolerate and things they think. You know what I'm saying? It just still comes around to being responsible for you as creation, and because what you think is what you get. So that's pretty much my process of that in a nutshell,
Mm-hmm. In what subtle ways does a weak emotional foundation leave someone wide open to be in control, not just by life, but by their own unhealed perspectives?
Well, having a weak emotional foundation it's not like you're already wide open. So it's not like you're basically promoting, a perspective of whatever if you're emotionally imbalanced, because things, weak emotions cause low vibrations, and low vibrations cause things in that realm of frequency. So you're going to get the things that you vibrate, how you carry yourself. So if you're being weak emotionally, you're just going to deal with a lot of things that pretty much make you have to channel that weak emotion. And it gives you opportunity to actually shift, because at some point you got to wake the hell up. Like at some point we get tired of being tired. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And then we end up snapping out of it. That's the human being trait, I think, if you're focusing in that way. But I think the spiritual perspective of growth is snapping out of it. Recognizing, that the mirror is in front of you, that you are projecting, you are the reason for the season, so to say. Everything that happens in whatever season it is yours. And we We bought it, like, and we don't. A lot of us don't want to take responsibility. I was one for a long time. I'm not trying to hear that it's my responsibility because they did something and it affected me, but it affected me because I allowed them into my experience. Then when you look at it, everything that I've ever been involved in, I can look back and say, especially if it was somebody else involved, I can look back and say, wow, I see how it was my fault because I knew better than to deal with them. I knew better than to involve them in certain things and put myself in a place. But it's responsibility. It's taking responsibility for that in order to really recognize that and to feel that, that reward. Yeah. So did you send that over?
Let me send it right now because I keep trying to upload it.
Yeah, but all is well. We just still have to, maintain our perspective and be in our space of knowing.
No wonder. All right, I'm gonna take this one away.
Oh, you got it uploaded, Connie?
It was saying that I exceeded the number. It's just that every time I
Oh,
said
yeah.
it's just that every time I said that I wasn't looking. So I just thought I was moving slow. Attention to detail. That's why
one of
that's
those
important.
things. Yeah, that's one of those things for real. I'm glad that you recognize it because attention to detail is the detail.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so let's go.
There's a lot you can miss if you don't pay attention.
Mm-hmm.
But
All
anyway, my next question is, what inherited emotional habits can drive a person's present life, such as habits that were born in survival but now block growth?
Well, that's a lot of the unknown. I mean, you have to kind of look inside yourself. You look at what's not serving the elders in your experience or the ones that disciplined you or the ones that you look up to. Look at them and see what it is you see that they may be going through or they may be, experiencing, and see how you feel about the things that they're going through in reference to how it appears to you or what you're going through, because you can kind of, recognize the curses or the spells or the things that are, challenging in your family members, and you can see how it's challenging to you, and you can look at everything and make a decision whether or not it's going to affect you the same way. It's just up to you to really look at that, and it's a hard process. I'm telling you, as a father of 12, nobody really wants their children looking at them on a judgment perspective, but they have to be looking at you to pay attention to see what's going on with you, especially if you're not necessarily lining up to what they feel. They feel some kind of way. It's all, this is all energetic. It's all discernment. Everybody's got it. The children have it in a high perspective and a high caliber of things. We just got to be willing to allow that to be with them, and don't, dumb down the process in the sense of what we know. We know that, this process is emotion driven if you are not in touch with your emotional guiding system and you're not aware that emotions are kind of like a fallacy of the fake. It's a cover of energy fields, and it's called emotion, but you can learn the energy fields, and you can kind of balance that emotion, that so-called emotion, by knowing the energy fields when they show up. And you feel them. I mean, it's in your gut, it's in your you get chills, you get goosebumps, you get, just a thought right quick that you weren't thinking about, nothing pertaining to nothing. All of a sudden you get a thought. It's like, okay, that's the answer to your whatever. That's the first mind intuition checkpoint. You know what I'm saying?
Whether you want to hear it or not.
Yeah, well, that's it. A lot of times, I'm going to tell you from my own experience. I've heard exact things that were going to take place. Exactly how I'm like, nah, forget that. I'm not. And then it'll happen. And then so I don't do that anymore. I pretty much take it for face value. I accept it. I channel it. I put my boots on when I see I'm going to have to get in the mud. And I keep my boots on, basically, because it's always the mud. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. All right. So my next question is, are emotional overreactions or shutdowns someone believes are just who they are really just signs that their foundation was never built with care?
Well, emotional overreactions and shutdowns are, based upon what, people vibrate up to or what they build a vibrational escrow up to. So if you're building a vibrational escrow, up to positive things, there you go. You're going to get positive things. It's nice. You're going to get positive things. But if you put forth the effort to get anything else, you're going to get everything else that you put forth the effort for. That just seems to be what I've learned in my own experience, and I've shared with my seeds to let them know is I can't save you from certain things. When you're thinking a certain way, you pretty much cause the effect. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I realized. So I've become me personally. I am the cause. From now on, I am the cause. I am not the effect.
Yes,
I am
sir.
the cause. So the effect will be the response. So I'm good, but I am the cause, and I know it. And we are essentially we all have to take responsibility for what we are. I am the cause of my own experience. I'm the cause of my whole experience. I'm the cause of every part of my experience. I haven't been able to get out of it. I haven't been able to pass the buck. Nobody else wants to take responsibility for my experience.
True. A lot of people don't want to take responsibility for their own.
Hell, yeah,
let alone somebody else's.
But there we go. That's the reason why. And it wouldn't be expected. My shoes are really heavy to fill. I wouldn't expect nobody to want to walk in mine. I haven't met nobody actually personally. I hear stories about people, but I haven't personally been eye to eye, face to face, sitting down with a person who has my responsibilities or like to. And like I said, I've heard about it, but I haven't been able to sit down directly with those individuals. But I haven't personally met, like I said, anyone who's in the same position or like position that's handling it the way I do. What I see is a lot of different stuff. I just stay grounded in the love factor. That's it.
Because that's all you got to do.
That's all.
Above everything.
Yeah, that's what works. That works above everything.
Yes, sir.
That's what the channel is. Even in the most lowest places, I can honestly say that has been the key element to every part of my low space. I find that somewhere in my vehicle. It's somewhere in my vibration, somewhere in my energy field that love is present. And that's the presence of the source. That's the presence of the I am. When you recognize it, I don't go back. That's why it's love King Malik. That's why it's God King Malik has been overwhelmed with love to where love is the overriding factor. And all of us are that, it is what it is. Take responsibility for it. Don't be tripping because others do. You know what I'm saying? Those of us that do, we just I'm grateful that I know. And I'm not dumbing down anybody's ability to know, because I feel like we all know somewhere down in there. We just have to tap into it. So it is what it is.
It is what it is.
Indeed.
As it shall always be.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now, my next question is, how does everything begin to shift the moment someone stops blaming themselves for the cracks in their emotional structure and instead take responsibility for owning the rebuild?
Well, they get to see their true self, because once you get out of the way of the even blaming, even the blaming is a strong, very, very powerful curse that we have been it's been translated or it's just been pushed all the way down through our lines. Like I feel like some of my past life regressions are still from blaming some things in my past, taking responsibility, not taking responsibility in time, and getting to here, realizing that, man, it's still stuff to clean up. There's always stuff to clean up. But when you blame yourself for anything, you start to project that thing to be more of what is, and you start to show up as that entity of energy that you blame. That you blame yourself for being that, you got to be that. It's a powerful energy field that forces a direction when it's blaming, especially when it's towards yourself. You can blame others and it's still, you'll see how fast it comes back on you, because we're projecting out. So blaming is very, very it's hard for the emotional structure. It damages, and it will be kind of challenging for someone to, if you're going to be blaming, if you don't realize that you're blaming, you're going to deal with things to the point where, like I said, you're going to track that. If you decide to do anything different in terms of projecting that or redefining that blame as a lesson learned, as a something, instead of I had to learn this so I could see this, or I had to see this so I can get to this, or I had to feel this so I can feel that, or have compassion for the next person who has already felt this, especially if you haven't. There's certain things you're going to go through in this experience that it's not going to be explainable in words. This is going to be explainable in the action that applies to it. This is going to go, it's going to play itself out. Then you'll be able to explain it. While it's going on, you're not going to be able to explain it necessarily. But just go with your highest, best version of yourself when making decisions from that, and then tap into that. Just realize everything that shows up is yours. Yeah, it don't seem like it when your girlfriend do it, or your boyfriend do it, or your husband or your wife or your child or your parent does it. It's them. It's they ass. No, but actually, it's a little bit of you projecting out to see them the way that they are, and yeah, it's them giving you the example of what you don't want to do or what you do want to do. Because as I said, in one of my things, I think is be grateful. Be grateful that you get the opportunity to see people do what you know you should and shouldn't do. And most times it's right in your face. It's your peers, it's your relatives, it's your loved ones, it's the people you respect or love the most. At least you thought you respected until you see that. You still respect them, you still love them, but that respect factor, you have to kind of
it shifts a bit.
Yeah, you have to double back and realize, okay, is this? Am I supposed to respect this or what? Yeah, you got to be mindful. We have to be mindful. Yeah,
entirely.
Yeah.
All right. So my next question is, what kind of relationships or decisions become challenging to sustain when someone allows their inner stability to depend on factors outside of themselves, especially the ones they can't directly control?
Well, you say what kinds of relationships or decisions become challenging to sustain when someone allows all of them. Stability on factors, all of them. Because if someone is not sustaining their, abilities to, like keep themselves in a space of emotional balance, it's challenging to deal with those type of individuals in general, especially if you are high vibrational being working on continuing your work as being a high vibrational being. Because honestly speaking, it's not necessarily, I would rather it seem as if it's something that is helpful rather than work, but it is really a process of what you're going to have to establish in your thought process in order to make it happen. Because most people are going to think, oh, this is some work. You know what I'm saying? It's an alignment thing. Once you make the decision, it's not hard, because think of this as the creator. We can create anything we set our minds to. We can do anything we set our minds to. We create in vibrational escrow. Everything we think we get is in vibrational escrow. So knowing that means that you can have anything you so intend, will, and command, as long as you can be balanced and in alignment to allow it into your experience when that space is available and in alignment. Because that's all it is. It's about alignment. As soon as you get to that point, it's a wrap. It's a wrap, because everything is set universally and the energy is controlled by that, by you and the vibration that you give to it, and how you, balance it, and how you, challenge, how you channel it, and people that are emotionally imbalanced, I have personal experience with my own loved ones, my own sons with anger issues, and I recognize it from my own anger issues from childhood that, have extended further than necessary. And, when it goes uncontrolled and people don't recognize, it's very, very important to communicate, like if you're having anger issues, or if you're holding things from the past, if you have anything going on that was yesterday or the day before, then you're really holding yourself hostage, because that doesn't exist. You cannot bring those days back. Those memories don't even serve purpose, because they're just the only vibration that they can have is what you give them. So when you do that, you actually put yourself in a space, where it's not necessary to be, unless you're taking them to build from, unless you're taking something from what happened previously and utilizing it as a charge force for now, not even for tomorrow, but for now, then you should leave it the hell back, because it's not serving any purpose, all the memories that make you have to remember a thing you had to forgive and did not forget is something that is not healthy. You know what I'm saying? It's not
Mm-hmm.
healthy to continuously harp on, old things, especially. It seems the older they are, the more vibrational, vibrational escrow you built up with that attached. And it's going to be more challenging to, to balance that out or to get away from that if you continuously, unconsciously not accepting it or consciously, when you come across, you get told something and you just go back to that thing about something you were told when you were younger that reminds you of this right here. And now you triggered and you're acting out of space. Because I'm going to share, just in all honesty, in certain perspectives of this vibrational realm and the quantum astro, you know, all this, it's different levels to this shit. And in all honesty, you'll get your life shifted to a whole nother dimension being out of line because of your, you know, anger issues or your whatever that is. And that is something that we have to come to terms with, because all of us are as dangerous as we are helpful. You know what I'm saying? It's just a matter of the switch. You know what I'm saying? It's I have not met one human being that I know that will not turn up to the occasion if they are, put in a position. And that's whatever the position. If it's you're going to respond one way or the other as a being that you are here, how you see things, how you transmute, how you promote, how you process, how you progress, how you do it, how you perceive, how you, all that perception, all that is going to determine how you get what you get. And if you're low vibrational and you're, having anger issues and you ride that, and the more you hold it from childhood or the more you hold it from, your younger life in general, it's just bringing, more vibrational turmoil. It's bringing more, low vibrational energy to the table for you to constantly live that. You got to live that if you're going to be that. If you're going to put that energy out, you got to line up to it. Yeah.
All right. So, goodness. My next question is, if they spend their life searching for that power of control they thought was missing, what would it mean to realize that they've always had it and just needed to tap into it?
Well, it would it would mean awakening. That's what it would mean. They're searching for the power it was missing, and they just, something happens for all of us.
To where you wake up to the fact that it was always there.
Yeah,
there was nothing outside of you to look for.
Yeah, the chosen, especially. I can't say that everyone's chosen, because everyone's chosen for something, but some are chosen for a different purpose, and the cause is what it is. Like the calling is what it is. But those of us that are chosen for what we're chosen for, we recognize, when you'll wake up and tap into it. You'll have you might be one thing 30, 40 years, and you might be strong with it, and you might just wake up and something in your perspective just will not let you see it that way no more. You even do your best. You go to relatives, because you're feeling some kind. You don't necessarily tap into knowing that this is a change that's taking place spiritually, because you're chosen for something else, and you're different than everybody else that that's in your circle, and you have been and knew that, but you didn't know it was this, and now all of a sudden it just doesn't make sense to you anymore, and you just turned into public enemy number one in your own tribe. You just turned into the arch enemy if you're in a church. You know what I'm saying? And you go talking to your church and tell them that you had an awakening. You don't think church is what church is, or you have a different opinion, or a mosque, or anything. You can have an awakening, and your tribe, that tribe is going to they're going to definitely look at you like you've lost every part of your sensible being. You know what I'm saying? But that's when, you really wake up, because you're no longer in the section of casting spells, receiving the spells. Everybody can't pray for you. You shouldn't be. I'm grateful that I have an understanding of these prayers, these meditations, these spells that we're casting when we're talking, doing all this word play and all these different things. I'm just grateful that I don't have a desire, or excuse me, I don't have a will or an intention to pray over anyone. You know what I'm saying? I can will and command positive and prosperous vibrations. I can raise the vibration that we both have access to because it's ours. I can remind you that it's your power like it's my power. I can, enlighten the fact that you are already. I'm just here as the mirror. If you can recognize it, yeah, I might not look like you, but if you want to check the energy, yeah, I give it to you. I give you the energy. It's yours in the first place. So run that. You know what I'm saying? It's yours in the first place. So run that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So my next question is, how would someone improve by reinforcing their deeper emotional framework instead of what they display on the surface?
They would improve drastically just going ahead and staying consistent to being better and not being emotionally drained. I've done a lot of modalities, like, it's a lot of things. It's a lot of things that you can do, and you can choose your pick because there's so many different things. There's hypnotherapy, there's NLP, there's all types of meditations, there's affirmations, there's mantras and mudras. There's different, things that you can create yourself because nobody is better than you at the course that you have for you. But it's only when you take responsibility and you do like something, take some action. You have to be willing and knowing that everything is by your doing anyway. Whatever you think, if it's high, if it's low, you get it. It's yours. When you take responsibility for that, you can. Well, when I took responsibility for it, I started directing my pathway because I realized that me taking responsibility, I really did know that that's what it was. So when you notice what it is, it's not really much to do. Just do it. Take responsibility, and you'll see how everything else seems to just line up. Yeah.
As it should. All right. So my final question is, thank you for that.
Mm-hmm.
What does it truly mean to become emotionally unshakable? Not cold, guarded, or harsh, but balanced and unshakable.
That means being awakened to the I am that you are. That means knowing that there is no cold, no guarded, no harsh. It's only balanced. You know what I'm saying? That's what balance. It's only balance. It's only balance. It's only focusing or learning to or figuring this thing out from whatever spiritual perspective you are or you believe or you feel that you are, and balance it. Know that as above, so below, and whatever you believe, the universe has its laws. So you can wrap your beliefs around whatever you want. Just make sure they're in alignment with the laws of the universe because it is as above, so below. It is as within, as without. It is, yin yang. It is left right. It is hot cold. It is up down. It is like a process of if you don't do what you're supposed to, the universe will flip you upside down and put you on your head.
Mm-hmm.
It is like that. Gravity don't play. It is like that. This is a perspective of real factual taking responsibility for you as creation. And then there will be no lack of emotion in your foundation. There will be absolutely none. And then you will never be vulnerable. It will not be able to happen. You take responsibility for you as creation, not you as a melanated woman or a melanated man or a girl or a boy or a husband or a wife or a father or mother or a brother or a sister, as you as creation, as the thoughts that you possess into this vessel. Everything that comes up is yours. And look, because we're connected to everything is yours. You're projecting out. Just try it. I mean, you don't have to agree to it. Just try it. If you try, it's scientific. It's scientific. Scientific, is one of those things that is, really like that spiritual thing. Scientifically, the trees and the grass and all of that stuff just grows and it's not stopping. It's not stopping. Mm-hmm. No matter what, seasons change, tornadoes come, stuff get burned down and they come right back. You know, so we know what we must do. We must, have no lack of emotional, energy. The foundation can't be weak when you take responsibility for you as the I am, you as the creation of all that exists in your experience for you. And that is what it is.
And it is what it
And
is.
so it is.
And so it
But
is.
thank you so much again for this opportunity. We will we definitely appreciate anyone who, taps in and, likes, shares, comments, send it through the algorithm so that we can raise the vibration, of any father, daughters. I challenge you all, like, let's do this. Let's get your team, get your family together, get your father, mother, mothers and sons and all that, everybody who can connect and make it visual so we can share the energy, because the energy raises the vibration. Just the look, somebody is going to be like hating and more people are going to be like loving. You know what I'm saying? Because it's an as above, so below. It's a yin and yang. People, think that everything that you get up and say is some bull crap because they feel like they some bull crap. When you are full of bull crap, it's a lot of things outside of you that look like bull crap. So remember that. So if everything seems to be bull crap, then you might want to go, wipe yourself. Real talk. All is well. But thank you again. Love, peace, and prosperity be upon all those who come within the sound, the sight, the vibration, frequency, the energy, the love perspective of this unapologetic, unlimited, and unconditional love that we have to offer. It is what it is, and so it is.
And so it is.
Ashe.
Ashe.